Hello, everybody. I'm Henry Li. Today we are at Longxiang group of Chinese brush painting or Sumier Society in San Diego Botanic Garden. Very beautiful place. This is my first time, I believe. Here every year we come here to show a different technique or different subject matters. In the past, we have learned landscape, I think lotus, and
we did
cranes last year. Right. So this year we'll do something with the animals. We call it the Zodiac Animals, 12 Zodiac Animals. Some basic strokes of those calligraphic painting. First, let me introduce some materials we're going to use. The pens I got today is from this brand, Japanese brand, Sakura. They try to make from traditional brand, the Maris particularly, because in China, before there's only one brand in China. This is like a monopoly. You like or not, there's only one large pen maker in Shanghai, is Maris. Now there's several competitors try to improve, I think. So while maintaining the what they call this, the waterproof requirement, the gelatin binding material different from the Western watercolors, so you will not bleed when you wet mount it. But the challenge is they tend to dry too fast in the tube, so they have a very short shelf time or tube life. With Maris, it dries before we can sell it. It tends hard. I always got complaints. But although you can open the tube to use it still, but it's a little hassle, to deal with that always. But this color, they said it will not. I think there's some. If somebody can read this, the characteristic of the product is longer stay wet time. What do you call it?
It's called a longer shelf life.
Shelf life, yeah, longer shelf life. So it will not get dry. That's true because this one has been used for more than a year, maybe 2 years already. It's not dried, so I just got all the fresh pens. Actually, I don't mind if I just make them into pens and then paint. It's like a watercolor. You can still paint it after it dries, right?
Here's one.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me just put this here. This is gelatin. I just put some warm water overnight. It's very easy to. But if you want to use it right away, it might take some time. You can use hot water. I got some hot water here to melt it. It's not very difficult. So if you add gelatin to regular watercolor, I have regular watercolor here. Daniel Smith and Holbein is what I use. Also some Winsor Newton. My favorite colors are here. If I want to use this, I will use gelatin, so you can wet mount it. What about this? This one is not waterproof, but it will still improve a little bit. I tested, but not as gelatin because pitch step is mainly to control the bleeding, not to prevent it from running when you re-wet it. Okay, but if you use a lot of this, it will make it. Of course, it will be more stable, but make the brush feel too sticky to paint with. So you don't want to use too much. So I will add a lot of water. Just you can use it on a palette as a just one of the colors. Good question. Yeah, spray will still be good if there's a thick build-up, like a pastel. Spray will prevent it from bleeding. I think that's good. To use, but if you, I think the gelatin, we have gelatin and then PSAP and then alum also. Alum is used as preservative, like for mounting, also as size. If you blend the gelatin with alum, 7-3 or something like that, more less the alum, it will become a solution called size. You can treat the paper to make it sized. That's what they use for, the mature paper. You can just like mounting, brush it on the table, just let it dry, maybe turn it over, brush it again. But we don't do that. We just buy mature paper. Nobody actually do that. But just let you know, you can use this solution to prevent it from bleeding during different layers of Gombi painting, the elaborated style painting, because if you keep working, the paper will become fragile, and it will stir up the previous layers. So that's another thing to consider. So this is about material. Maybe too much information. Let's just do some demo of strokes. Okay. I also use this ink plus some maybe liquid ink. Depends on how much I want. If I want just a dot to the eye, I may just use the convenient ink cake. Okay. Yeah. So I have. Just put a little bit more. So I really don't know what's the best, but I always dilute it, so it's a little thicker than I need. I'm sure. If you will know that if the brush stick together, you cannot paint with. Yeah. So it's So let me just put this aside if I need. All right. I only need my favorite wrist brush and then the basic 3 brushes. Or you can use a rat whisker brush instead of the small detailed whistle brush. So 3 basics plus the large brush. And also I can use a combination brush as well. The stiff and soft combination is good to have. Okay. And I will cut this paper into half, maybe just.
So what are you painting on today?
I just show some strokes. Maybe I don't need to cut. I just get some.
That's a confusing.
Yeah. Confucius Shen is a practice level. I mean student level, but I find it very good painting paper, very inspiring paper. If you paint it very gently, not press too hard or rub it, it will not as fragile as it feels, with some student maybe. But I have a student who did this painting for years. That's his only paper, I think. And I have another artist teacher friend who we send all the samples to him, and his favorite is this. So it could be for your final work.
It's certainly handy to have it already cut.
Yeah. So these 2 brushes are all combination brush. We have a boar or hawk hair, the black one. Or it actually in the brush making industry they call this bear. Bear is not bear, it's a hawk, a black hawk hair. And this is wolf, the brown one. Brown and the sheep. On the outside is the sheep. Okay. Let's just use this one first. Okay. I think we'll do some ink. For the strokes, you can just use ink with different tonalities. For the painting, we use mostly the diluted. Let's say we just use this diluted. If I don't dilute, you'll see what happens, right? Let me try this paper first. Just use water. a little bit ink. Let's see what happens. You see, it will smear, right? Okay. And of course, you can control the smearing with two things. One is to use paper towel, dry it, so there's no water in the belly, in the heel of the brush. But you know, I sometimes we need this to paint something furry, like an animal, right? So you can, let's see, if we want to control, we can add some peach sap or gelatin. I'll save that for this.
Okay.
Because it prevents it from bleeding, right? This one is already have the waterproof binding, the ink, right? So we don't have to worry about. So I just use peach sap. This is peach sap, right? So if I use peach sap instead of clean water, and you see, it will not bleed, right? You can paint slower, right?
Oh my goodness.
Wet into wet, because I have a thicker paint. I can paint, yeah.
But you still get a soft edge.
Oh yeah, because it's wet.
Yeah,
It's wet, yeah.
which is what you want.
Yeah. So if you want to smear, you just like paint slower. Yeah. But sometimes it's difficult. If I want to, I will go back to the water. If I want to have it smear, so it comes back to the. I want it smear sometimes. I go back, but you see, this will start to tear. Yeah, this is the disadvantage of this paper. It's so fragile. It's like painting on a
Single strand?
yes. It's a single strand, but student level strand. But you just hold the brush more gentle. Use the brush gently. Yeah. Don't paint wet into wet. Yeah. Or you hold it. So we always paint the head with a circle kind of stroke, right? This is panda.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it could be different animals, but so the head is, you need to practice is a circle. You can start from the ear, if there's an ear, or you can add horn or ear later. So example, if you do the, what this head is, the, cow. Cow, yeah. Cow. Yeah. So the eye could be a dot, large or small. Could be a Chinese, actually Japanese kana. No, right? Off meaning you can do the eye like that. That's one stroke. You can also depends on the animal. You can dot like a smiley face, or just a round dot, or a tiny dot like a rat. These are all eyes. Usually I use dark ink, and you can use this kind of even the black in your watercolor tube, directly off the tube, to control the smearing. On this paper, you want to have it really dark, so you can even dot on the wet without worry about smearing. All right. Dot line, and for the body, we have to kind of change the the angle sometimes. So there are two kind of turn, and one is turn, like a round angle. Another is bending or folding, right? So that, otherwise you cannot have the work done in one stroke. You have to make turns. So you don't hesitate between turns, but let's just do something like that. And you can change direction. You know, you can draw an 8, maybe a big head, and like a bird, or a chicken, or something like that. So you can combine the head with body.
In one stroke.
In one stroke, yeah. So you have to change directions. You can also make some other parts. You know, on the head you can do ears and the horns, right? On the body you can do the legs, the feet, or limbs, whatever. Let's say if you do a cow has like a squarish, maybe something like that, squarish body, and this tail. You can do the tail like that with different tones. This one has no. Okay. The eye could also be a little bar. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So the body could be rounded or square, depends on the animal. You know, like it could be like this would be a rabbit or something. So that's about it, I think. So if you can do a circle, and if you can do square, and maybe triangle, this basic shapes, it will help. I try not to use too small brush, because otherwise it become like a fine line, outline. This is in between outline and boneless. Boneless means you just do the surface without outline. But this is what we call the freestyle, right? Or abstract style, expressionistic style, calligraphic style. So it has press and turns, and you use all the parts of the brush to make the shape in one stroke. That's the point. Just like you write a particular calligraphy stroke, you can go from very thick to very thin in one stroke. Let me do some more examples.
You want to get started on the full Zodiac?
The whole thing, yeah, okay. Otherwise we don't have time. Thank you for your time management. Yeah, I need that. Okay, so this is the basic drill to warm up. Oh, should I keep it? Okay, just put it aside for me. Okay.
Okay, this is the surprise part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the next painting surface we're going to work on. So I will use watercolor. The reason is that you don't have to mount it. It's already been made. It's what is called? I got this from Daiso. Painted paper, not painted, for painting, for painted paper fan. So I tried it recently. You can see this one on my Facebook. I think I did. This is a watercolor, and use this brush. So I will show you how to do these animals. I would like to introduce the system of Chinese what do you call this Chinese lunar calendar, right? We call this 12 earthly branch and 10 heavenly stem system. In other words, there's small circle of 12 symbolized by the 12 animals, starting with the rat, ending with the hawk or the boar, and then there's 10 heavenly stem in combination. There are two numbers, like Chinese characters, symbolize each year. And if I was born in the year of this year was my 60th birth year, sixth cycle. The sixth cycle, you can only have, in one's lifespan, you can only complete one 60-year cycle. You start over again, right? Right, yeah. So that's what we call. We come back to the year you begin.
Yes.
Yeah, you begin. So this is why it's important to have a personal birth year deity kind of that will guard, like your lifeguard. You know, there's a Taoist temple in Beijing. They have all 60 statues, of your birth god. So it's like a birth god. So my birthday is this year for the 60th birthday. So my year is the pig, right? Anybody else is born in the year of the hog or the boar here? No? Anybody was born in the year of the rat? Oh, great. 1, 2. Okay, so we'll start from the rat. If you look at the handout, the rat is the first animal in the 12 zodiac animal symbols, because in the past, this can go back to the spring and autumn period, the warning state of spring and autumn, like Confucius time. Okay, they start to. I think the first it was used like the daytime counter. So each animal symbolized 2 hours period in the day cycle. So the midnight to 2 o'clock is zi, or the rat time, because rat gets active in the night. Everybody knows that, right? So that's why rat is first, because the rat active at night, right? Or early morning, if you will. And there are other stories, are the folklores in Chinese culture, try to explaining why this order. The rat is supposed to be the most powerful animal. The story says the yellow emperor, which is we start counting the year. The yellow emperor is the first traditionally treated as the ancestor of Chinese clan. Okay, we start to have the counting of this system, and so the 12 animals was chosen as his bodyguards, the palace guards, and the candidates at that time, everybody could register, right? And the cat was lazy, so asked rat to. Stories that goes to
Do it first.
to do it, for him, for the cat. But the rat failed to register for cat. The cat was not on the list of the candidates, so that's why they become rivals. Or the cat hated the rats. That's what the Chinese story folklore says. So that's why cat is not in there. An elephant was beaten by the mouse because the mouse entered the nose of the elephant and beat him and drive him away. That's the sorry this. Okay, so rat is the first, no question, right?
This is my tool to change this.
Okay, I'm going to use a little bit gray. It's a neutral tone. It has a nice color here.
Oh, it's kind of bluish.
Yeah, bluish.
Which page you need
We got some Daniel Smith. I don't know the name of the color, but it has a
with the drag?
stone color kind of in it. Yeah, it's a Pence gray, and another one is is from a grind stone rock, so shining. It's right. So if you look at the rat, I start with the big ears, yeah, exaggerated. If I like something, exaggerate that, and so I go with the instinct. You can do two, you can do one, just depends on. Maybe I just do one. If it's not enough, I can do the other. Okay. So I completed in one stroke. Actually, you could do it in 2 strokes. If you count 5, this is the
rat?
yeah, the rat. Yeah. So maybe I just make a little bit. And in painting, we first of all we don't have room for the long tail, so I just make it short.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you can use the same brush to dot the eye. Okay. Just use a little convenient ink. I can also use the pure ink here. But just dot the eye, very small eye, and the nose is very important for mouse. Everyone knows they know where the food is. So I emphasize on that big nose. Okay. Big nose, and if a guy, I would do the whiskers with 2 ladies, so I don't do the whiskers. I just leave it out. You like the whiskers?
At our age, we might have whiskers anyway, right?
I think those ladies born near the rat get.
Okay, here we got a rat whisker brush. It's called the rat whisker brush. Actually, it's made of domestic rabbit hair. Certain part of the hair is used, I think. I don't know. So it's a very delicate brush. You can hold the brush high and just get this very fine lines.
Nice.
This is good to do the whiskers, rat or cat, and the antenna of the shrimp or lobster. It will save you 10 years of practice with this brush. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I cannot do the same thing with this brush.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So next here is the rat. 2020. 2020. It's the rat. Year of the rat. So Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Earlier.
Is that you too, Barbara?
Yeah,
It's our year.
it
They're gonna
is.
have to be nice to us next year.
I know.
Oh, no. I know, huh?
That's your idea?
Yes.
Oh,